Go.
All right, students, here we are. Give yourself a round of applause. You did it. We did it. Together we did it. We've gone through all of our weeks of summer programming. Tonight is the last hurrah. I'm actually a little bit touched. I'm a little bit touched. Dr. Scharf, it's right here. It's right here. A little touched. But we're closing out with two of our faves, two awesome women, amazing individuals here in the community, and they're here to provide you with some information on scholarships and essay writing. I know you've enjoyed it. I know you guys have been taking plenty of notes. We do this for you. So good evening, students. You know what, for tonight, since tonight is such a momentous occasion, what I want to do is do something different tonight. That's right. Colleen, I'm going to go off script here. Don't mind me. Colleen's like, uh-oh, where's he going? We're going to go off script a little bit. If you're looking at the screen, stop looking at me. Don't look at me. Look at the bottom right of your screen where it says connect with us at Bridge to Life SFL. That's right, I'm going off script. I want everyone to follow us on Instagram. If you're not following us on Instagram, then you're missing out on so much information. And we don't have any other summer workshops, at least our summer workshops, that's aside from our SSN and our GSN. But follow us on Instagram. If you're not following us now, we had a bunch of students follow earlier. It's gonna get jam-packed, get your seat now. So follow us, please, bottom right of the screen. Let's move on to the next screen. And as a matter of fact, while we're moving on, students, if you don't mind, just say whatever comes to mind right now in the chat. If you're excited to be here, if you've learned a lot, whatever it is, put that in the chat while I talk about our next movie incentive. That's right, AMC Theaters, you've heard us mention it. If you have attended 2 workshops between July 14th through July 29th, hang on, what's today? That's right, today's July 29th, so this is it. Congratulations, you're eligible to receive not 1, but 2 movie passes to the AMC Theater, not Regal, AMC. So obviously Space Jam is a popular movie. Obviously Black Widow is another popular movie, but you can take those 2 tickets and essentially watch what you like. So we're giving you those 2 tickets. You're eligible to receive those 2 tickets, okay? After tonight, what else do we have coming up? Well, we have our SSN, our Student Success Network meeting on August 12th at 3 p.m. And we have our Graduate Success Network meeting on August 26th at 3 p.m. So the first one, SSN, is the 2nd Thursday of the month. GSN is 4th Thursday of the month. And obviously at the bottom, we want everyone to get involved in Bridge to Life. When I tell you we've mapped out our calendar for the year, between now and this time next year, we have, and there's so much you guys can do. There's so much you can get involved in for the sake of volunteer hours, experience, just learning opportunities. I say monetary incentives, and we want you to be a part of it. We want you to be at the table. All right, let's get into our workshop this evening. We're closing out with the dynamic Dr. Scharf, and of course, the one, the only. Put your hands together. Drum roll, please, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I present to you Shedley Cassius, the scholarship. Plug.
I love it.
Shedley, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Tron. As always, you give me such an amazing introduction. I cannot share my screen. Oh, yes, I can. Okay. Happy Thursday. And man, oh man, oh man, oh man, is this the last session or what? I cannot believe it. Just like you were saying, I cannot believe it. And you could have been anywhere and you decided to hang with us, stick with us, not only through 1 session, 2nd session, 3rd session, but you're here for the 4th session. If you know anyone, you still have time. If you know anyone that was here any of the sessions before and they're not here tonight, ping them, message them, text them, call them. There's still time. There's still time. Okay, so welcome everybody. Happy Thursday. And like Tron said, my name is Shedley Cassius Parther. I am the founder of the Scholarship Plug, and we are here to talk about scholarships. But before we do that, If you're joining us for the first time, we made it clear for the past few sessions that we don't let anyone tell us that we cannot go to college. And college meaning a technical college, community local college, right? Also called state college, a university, state university or private university. No one is to tell us that we cannot go, okay? Do not let anyone try to convince you that you cannot attend a college because you cannot afford it. Do not let anyone, I need you guys to like screenshot this, download it, write it down, put it in your journal, whatever you need to do to convince yourself, and not so that you don't let anyone tell you that you cannot get college ready.
As a matter of fact, Shelly, if I can jump in 2 seconds, you know I'm going to jump
Sure.
every time like double dutch. Students, since this is our last workshop, and I forgot to say this earlier, let's have you turn those cameras on if you can, because we need to see your faces. We want to see interaction. So turn those cameras on if you can, if you don't mind. We want to see your beautiful faces, but turn them on. Sorry, back to you, Shelly.
Okay. What if their hair's not done or anything like that, Tron?
We don't care. I know somebody who can do hair. If you guys need a hairstylist, I know somebody. Shelly, you know that person too. So don't worry about that. But turn those.
Okay. All right, guys, remember this. Please, if you don't remember anything that we talk about, this is the purpose of this is the purpose. We want to make sure that you are convinced that you can continue your education after high school. Okay, why? Because you have options. You have possibilities. Okay, this is for those that are just joining us for the first time today. You have options. And the first thing I need you to do when you get back to school or before you even get back to school is know your options. What does your school, you're already enrolled in a high school. What does your high school offer? And how do you take advantage of whatever they have to offer? And how does it link to scholarships? There's some scholarships that are not a negotiable factor. If you meet the requirements, you complete the pathway, you get the scholarship. Okay, so if right now you are sitting listening to this, or even if you're listening to the recording and you don't know what pathways, what programs, what opportunities that your school has, your high school, that can directly link you to scholarship money, that's your first job. Okay, that is your first job, because those are scholarships that are available to you just by being a part of a program and passing the certification, passing the requirements, meeting the requirements. Those are available to you. Okay, all right. Remember, when we're doing these workshops, this is a different mindset. We're getting into another mindset. We're on a scholarship mindset. We're not doing just one scholarships. We're not just doing 2 or 4 or 5. We're aiming for the max that you can do. We have a scholarship challenge here at the Scholarship Plug where we challenge you to apply to 100 scholarships. Your max may be 30. Your max may be 50. I know that if you dig deep and if you truly want to get paid to go to college, you can dig deep and apply for as many as 100. So it's all about getting your mindset in order, okay? New mindset for new results. Remember, again, We don't expect success, we prepare for it. We prepare for it. And all of this has to do with you preparing to get paid to go to school. Financial aid has different sources of aid, different sources of financial aid that you should be aware of. Scholarships, what we're talking about today, grants, all part of an application. Listen, grants and scholarships are different. Grants are attached to your FAFSA. Grants are attached to your Florida application for aid. 2 applications that will generate you grant money. Period. Scholarship money comes in various ways. There's different scholarships for different people, different requirements, different things. Work study is affiliated with a federal application, which is the FAFSA. Student loans, you can either go to a private company or it's affiliated with the FAFSA. So 3 out of the 4 of these sources of income or sources of financial aid come from the FAFSA, whether you are eligible for a Pell Grant or not, okay? Okay, I hope that was clear. And you know why we're doing this? Just in case we have newbies here, and just in case you're listening to this recording, there's levels to this. We're not only looking for tuition and fees, we're looking for books and supplies. We're looking for room and board, because I get it all the time. The question always rests on, if I get my tuition paid for and I get more scholarship money, do I get to keep it? Yes, you get to keep it, but you get to keep it to apply it to the other aspects of your cost to attend your college. We have tuition and fees, books and supplies, room and board, transportation, other expenses. If everything is covered, you have a scholarship for tuition and fees, books and supplies, room and board. Yes, you get to keep the rest, okay? And there's different ways to receive your scholarship money, okay? There's different ways, because some scholarships will send your check directly to the school versus others that are happy to hand you the check, okay? So there's different types of ways to receive your scholarship money. So you cannot put your 100% faith in the fact that you'll just receive the money in your hand. It doesn't work that way, okay? I don't think I said that last time. Just so you are aware, scholarship programs vary. So it depends on what it's for, depends on the organization, and they may not send you the check directly. They may send it to your school, okay? And that way you don't really have that much control, because it has to be applied to a part of your cost of attendance, okay? All right, so another question that I always get is, I haven't heard back from my scholarship. I've been applying back to back. Guess what? I call these scholarship downtime months. Yes, there's scholarships that are due in June. There's scholarships that are due in July. There's scholarships that are due in August. But technically, this is slow season. This is when programs are wrapping up their awards from the previous class, okay? Preparing for the next academic school year, a next award year. Winners are receiving their money right now. June, July, August, that's downtime. This is your time to prepare. This is your time to prepare. There are still scholarships out there for you to apply for. We went over them last session, but this is truly a time to prepare. So give scholarship programs time, especially if you've just started the process. You want to give up to 6 months to see if you are a winner. Some scholarship programs will tell you within 15 days. Some will tell you within 6 months. Depending on the scholarship program, you want to give them time, especially if they get hundreds of applications. Hundreds. So they have to filter through that, especially it's still a pandemic, and usually they're working on Zoom, and they have to find other means of fundraising. They have to find other means to meet. Okay, so you want to give them some time. And as a matter of fact, your mindset is not where I need them to be. Your mindset is not where I need it to be, because you're focused on you winning the scholarship when you should be thinking of applying for more. Focus forward. You will find out, because before you know it, you'll get an email, congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. I know, because I get it on Instagram all the time. I haven't applied, I haven't heard anything, and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I got it. Oh my goodness, I got it. Oh my goodness, oh, thank you, miss, thank you. Like, it just happens, but you have to focus forward. Okay. Reminder, tomorrow is the deadline for the SAT. I would be remiss not to remind you guys, because I'm still a brace advisor at heart. Tomorrow is the deadline for the August SAT. Your deadline for the ACT is August 6th. If you've already tested, keep a copy. Download a copy, because scholarship programs may ask you for it. All right, so let's talk about what you are doing to prepare. We're gonna recap this, guys. Write this down if you haven't done it yet. If you haven't done it yet, this is something you do now. Obtain a copy of your transcript, all of your transcripts, especially if you've done dual enrollment. Register for the next ACT and SAT and download a copy. Gather a list of all your activities, awards, and recognitions from 9th grade on. Keep a running list. Craft a strong resume. Complete a brag sheet. If you don't have one, I have one on my website. A brag sheet tells, it's where you brag about yourself. Because why? We need letters of recommendations. If you haven't reached out to 6 people, I say 6 because we may get 3 back. If you get all 6 back, great. But we ask for 6 in hopes of 3 or 4. Over plan. Apply to college if you are class of 2022. Why? Because some of these scholarships will ask you for an acceptance letter. And be smart, because if you're applying to a school that doesn't make decisions until December, or a school that doesn't make a decision until February, like UF, I need you to apply for other schools, because we need an acceptance letter. Not only that, you need to create options for yourself. Okay? Class of 2022, applications are slowly opening, but there are still some that are available right now. Okay? Some applications became available in June. Make a list of all the colleges you plan to apply to. Make a list. Find their website, find their scholarship website to see what institutional aid they have to offer. You got that? Make a list of all the colleges you plan to apply to, find their scholarship website, and find out what the requirements are for the institutional aid. Every college has institutional aid. Every one of them. Whether through an alumni association, whether through the actual department at the school that you're pursuing a major in, or a simple admissions grant. There's some schools that give you $1,000 just because you're one of the first freshmen to apply. And that goes for the state universities here in Florida. Not all of them. I'm gonna let you find out which one. That's where the research comes in, okay? Obtain documentation. If you have a disability, get a copy of your IEP, get a copy of your a documented disability from your doctor. Have it ready. And of course, complete your FAFSA. 9th through 10th graders, you can do your FAFSA forecaster. 11th through 12th, you can do the 21-22. Yes, you can. October 1st marks the new application for 2022 to 2023. I know that's confusing because the norm is you do the FAFSA October 1st. Remember, we prepare for success. To prepare for success, we don't do it when it comes out. We do it in advance. Because now you'll know how to plan. You don't know how many students I've sat with and have done their FAFSA in 11th grade, and now we can plan as to how much they need to go to college. Because whether you qualify for Pell Grant or not, we need to know. How do you direct your energy? It's not during senior year where we have issues with that application and we can't find out what you're eligible for until January, and now we have a problem. Plan early. All right, let's talk about some of the scholarship sites. Tron, I know there's some questions about where do you find scholarships?
Oh yeah, the questions are in. The questions are in. Students, pay close attention. She just listed I hope y'all are paying attention. Hubert, Maya. Okay, back to you, Shelby.
Listen, there is not one scholarship site that best fits all. It's impossible. There's too many scholarship sites. It's up to you to go through all of the scholarship sites, or at least in my book, I mentioned, select about 5 to 10 and go through them. If it's a good fit for you, you find scholarships that fit you, they're a keeper. If not, take them off your list. But there's not one site that best fits all, because what might work for you may not work for somebody else. Someone that signs up for FastWeb may feel overwhelmed and quit scholarships altogether. I've had that happen because it's too much information versus those that are used to it. So they can filter through it like nothing. I can't handle it. So it's up to you. You have to go through these sites to see which ones are a better fit, okay? All right, scholarships to look out for. And then we have the famous Dr. Scharf with the exclusive essay review for you. Scholarships to look out for and to start working on. The Gates Millennium Scholarships, full ride, okay? College Board Opportunity, Raise.me, the Just Do Scholarship has been extended, $5,000. Coalition Scholarship, the Shep Foundation, I told you about that, up to $9,000. Coca-Cola Scholars is open. Ryan Cameron, due September. ELP's most valuable student scholarship in September. G.E. Regan Foundation Scholarship, another big time scholarships. Jack Kenton Cook scholarships, Ron Brown, every year, very consistent. National Merit Scholarships, that's why I want you guys to test. Some of you will qualify or be at least close to it, okay? National Merit is you're considered for National Merit if you test junior year. So if I have any 10th graders, rising juniors, start preparing for this National Merit Scholarship Program. YMA Fashion Scholarship, that's for all my fashionistas. FRA's Americanism Essay Contest, big time scholarship. The NRA has a scholarship, contest and the Jen and Kelly that's due Saturday, $1,000. John F. Kennedy Profiling Courage essay contest. As a matter of fact, 4 of these are from 7th grade all the way up. Okay, so when do you start applying for scholarships? I have some on here for 7th graders. Come on now, let's start working. Finally, if you don't listen to anything we've said, and I know you have, all of these different social media platforms, do you know there's more than we think? The ones that we generally use, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, LinkedIn, those are the popular ones. You know that there's maybe 100 more, right? Social media platforms. Okay, follow with a purpose. If you're not following your industry, if you want to be in a particular industry and you're not following the leaders of that industry, you're not following with a purpose. Social media is just that. It's social. It's for you to have a good time, socially engaged. But be smart about your time. You can follow with a purpose. Not saying spend your whole time following industries and scholarships and all that, but carve some time in your social follows to do that. Okay? Follow with a purpose. Follow your industry leaders. I had a student that wants to be a veterinarian. She's following this guy. I forget his name. Oh no, I forget his name. He's a veterinarian, famous on YouTube. She's following him. I told her to email him, message him on YouTube, and he responded. It's the best time to be on social media. But follow with a purpose. Follow your leaders, industry leaders. Follow scholarship programs when I tag them, okay? And ask your questions. That's how you make it happen. All right, so follow with a purpose. All right, and now we're gonna go in. So last week, if you're just joining us for the first time, last week, before we even ended our session, we had 3 students or more, I think, submit essays for us to review. The essay is one of the most crucial things, supplements to your applications that you want to spend your time on, which is why I'm going to bring Dr. Scharf on so that you can truly pay attention on how the transformation of these essays happened. Because you can do it, you can make the best, you can produce and craft the best essay to where you can use that essay for every scholarship, okay? Of course, you're gonna have to tailor it, answer the question. Remember, we have to answer the prompt. But if you have a strong essay, ask any student that has gained over 20 scholarships, 15 scholarships, ask them how they did it. I'm going to tell you, it's the essay. So Dr. Scharf, without further ado, please.
Before we bring on Dr. Scharf, I just want to answer one question in the chat. Adrian, I'll answer you one-on-one, but I think Michaela asked a question. How do you know if you're Pell eligible? Once you complete your FAFSA application, as soon as you and your parent or guardian signs a FAFSA application, you receive what's called a FAFSA confirmation email. It is instantaneous in most cases. It should be. You can check that email, right? It'll go to your personal email, whatever you use to create your FAFSA application. And if you look below, it's just as clear as day. It says you are eligible. The government believes you are eligible for Pell Grant X number of dollars, loan X number of dollars. So as soon as you complete the FAFSA, you'll get that email. Check that email. I just want to answer that. Adrian, I'll answer you one-on-one. Shedley, thank you so much. We're going to pass it over to Dr. Scharf. Dr. Scharf, you have 1 hour and 30 minutes minus an hour. Let's go.
Thank you so much, Tron. And thank you, Colleen, and thank you, Miss Cassius for including me, and to all the students who have listened to me the last 3 weeks and tonight. First of all, we've been talking about writing a winning essay. What is a winning essay? And I'm going to review very quickly on the next slide, in case you've missed some of the sessions, that sessions 1, 2, and 3, we began with talking about crafting the essay, and that's where we're going to end tonight also. It is an art and a science. There are tricks, there are methods. If you're not a good speller, not real good with the fine points, mechanics, punctuation, capitalization, what's important is getting your voice out, getting the words down. And that brings us to the prompt. We talked about reading it ahead of time, previewing it, and reducing it, taking the keywords. We had a sample prompt, write an essay in which you discuss what makes you unique. The keywords are you and unique. Strategies for writing the introduction, strategies for writing the body. And then last week we talked about previewing what would be involved in the conclusion. So we're going to start with the end. Then we're going to look at those who submitted the first 3 essays and talk. Good idea. Grammarly is a good site. Talk then how it all comes together. So tonight, although it says cliches and transitions, I kept that for last because those were the 2 most important areas I hadn't covered after looking at the structure of an essay, and hopefully I'll be able to do that. So writing the conclusion. First of all, on the next slide, you will see a very familiar prompt. We start with the introductory paragraph, hoping to catch attention. And you see in capital letters, a good introduction will give direction to the rest of the essay. We talked about being adopted, immigrating, hard work, community. And then that brings us to the next slide, the body, which is where you elaborate and try to become a bodybuilder. You're going to see the sample essays today. I broke them down to show you how they built the essay. Elaborate facts, incidents, reasons, examples, statistics, whatever works the best. And if you remember last week, I talked about pizza, one of my favorite topics, family vacation, beautiful person, a good story, just to get you thinking about how you would elaborate. So now let's talk about the conclusion, the final part. We've gone through the introduction, your grand opening, the body be a bodybuilder. The conclusion then is the grand finale, closing argument, final statement, final say. What do you need to have it? First of all, think of the purpose. What's the purpose of writing an end? Why can't you just end after you've made your points? You're going to review the prompt. Make sure the reader knows you've dealt with the topic assigned. Repeat key ideas. Talk about the importance of what you have said. Make readers see how your words are important and leave them thinking. Which brings us to some strategies. And you don't have to use all of these strategies, of course, as you see on the next slide. Summary is one way of doing it. We've covered that pretty much, stating the topic, your main points, and how the points are going to lead into the rest of your essay. And so at the end, you're going to remind us of the topic, the main points, and your message. Another tactic would be to ask a question. And so I was thinking about that topic, what makes me unique? What if you began the essay with, what would the world be like if we were all the same? Or how does being unique make me strong or noteworthy or outstanding? You could use a quotation, but really make sure that you tie it to the prompt. And also you need to tell the source of the quotation and if possible, who that person is. For example, Coco Chanel, she says, in order to be irreplaceable, you must always be different. Coco Chanel, fashion maven. Then you could get into the importance of being unique. Make your points there. Remember, it should relate to the prompt, be put in quotation marks if it's said exactly word for word, and give attribution. Or you could describe what you see for the future. If you were working with being unique, you could say something like, I see a world in which diversity is revered as something vital, as what makes life interesting. What makes life challenging and better for all? Or what would you like to see happen? In my world, where everyone appreciates one another for being different or unique, we've learned to collaborate and all of us reap the benefits. Then you're saying what you would like to see in the future. Or you could, as your final part, move the reader or ask the reader to think or remember something significant. Or call on the reader to want to do something or think something. So you might say, I've resolved to see not only a world in which each person is unique, but a world in which we can build on what we have for a better world for all. So let's go to looking at specific examples. Who won the essay challenge? Let's check it out. We're ready. The students, I should mention, participated through their own willingness, and the first 3 that submitted that we were able to see. Somebody sent an empty file, was very excited and sent just their name, and then we had to have the essay with it. Those people we will look at right now. Without naming the names though. So we have sample essay number 1. Writing for a prompt that says, what actions are you taking to promote racial justice and why are they important to you? I've tried to bold print the keywords in the prompt. They want to see actions, they want to see promoting racial justice, and they want to see why that's important. So here is an introduction. Systematic oppression is a complex subject that I've attempted to tackle in many different ways. Well, now that gets my attention right away. I hear a lot about systemic racism, systemic oppression. And that person, of course, revised it, but I want you to see the beginning. Oppression is complex. Well, I expect the essay then to talk about different things that this person has noted coming from systemic oppression. It's woven into our health, education, and voting system. Now I see the organization. Throughout the past 3 years in high school, I've joined initiatives that have helped me in my journey to dismantle the barriers faced by people of color in these systems. Okay, so I see the prompt covered very thoroughly there. That's great. I would always ask you after you write your introduction, remember we're going back to the introduction, sit back and think, does it grab attention? Does it hook the reader? Are you taking a stand clearly? And are you addressing the prompt? And have you given direction to what's coming next? So let's see what comes next in this person's essay. On the next slide. And again, reminder of the prompt up at the top, always keep that in mind. So the person discusses problems impacting racial justice, area 1, tobacco industry, marketing and consumption. And I thought, what does that have to do with race? Well, the person has information, elaboration. It impacts people of color. There's a history targeting it since the 50s. Trying to push tobacco on individuals contributes to the 3 leading causes of death among African Americans. So there's some real statistical basis for this. And the usage and marketing geared towards people of color is very prevalent. See how they have some ideas, elaboration. Now, of course, this is written in paragraph form. I just extracted what I saw as the main points, because if I were screening for the winning essay, I would want to see that. Then the person takes the second part. Where is it? Actions taken, the first part of the prompt, and talks about what she's done fighting the problem of tobacco and the marketing. Working against tobacco, students working against tobacco, and youth advisory advocacy board. Okay, on the next slide, you'll see problem number 2. She goes from tobacco to talking about lack of education and accessibility for all students once they've graduated high school and post-secondary endeavors. And she talks about how students need to know about applying for admission. This sounds familiar, into colleges, university, trade, vocational, job market, financing needed like scholarships, loans, grants, and the actions she has taken to promote racial justice, joining Brace, educating her own peers, developing peer mentoring programs, addressing enrichment and opportunity gap that exists for low-income students of color, and then meetings that she has organized after school to help students do things like many of you are doing through Bridge to Life or through the scholarship plug, college lists, exploring and contacting colleges, looking for scholarships, etc. There's a lot there. That's the body of an essay. Next slide. You may expect to see something about voting, but that was not there. It's best if you can come up with 3 points, but she really did some heavy duty elaboration in what she wrote. So now the conclusion, initially her conclusion in draft 1 read or ended with, my first year of having these meetings, I noticed the majority of these students were accepted into selective schools with more financial aid than their counterparts. Preparing for the future now is instrumental in the fight for racial justice. Like Alexander Hamilton said, I aspire to boldly incite change, not just locally, but nationally. And I think based on what I saw in draft 2, she realized, in fact, this person had the question, does the quote fit? I didn't see a correlation, and neither did the person who sent me the essay. So look how much better it is. Going from brace training exposed me to the resources that would aid me in my goal of bridging the opportunity gap between students of color and white students. And the last sentence, preparing for the last part, preparing for the future now is instrumental in the fight for racial justice, the fight for health equity and equal opportunity education for people of color is a fight for all. She's used that technique of making the reader think, yes, there's a more universal importance in what she said. So I would ask these questions when you finish your essay. Does the conclusion seem developed? Is it thorough or does it look rushed? And a rushed conclusion throws a quote in without connecting it, ends with something like the end, or that about wraps up what I have to say, or it looks like one little sentence and somebody invited the person to a better activity and they left their keyboard in their essay. So, oh no, you don't want it to look rushed. Does it follow the prompt? Does it make a memorable impression? You need to do that because your paper has to stand out, your essay rather, has to stand out when they're screening for the winner. Let's look at sample 2.
And Dr.
And I want to
Scharf,
thank
that's
that person.
That's exactly what that's the impression that I have. Like, this is memorable. The last sentence, preparing for the future, that sentence, those sentences right there, powerful.
And I don't know how long that person took to write it. I suspect the person's naturally a pretty good writer. These were all really good entries. Wish I had a scholarship to give, but anyway, here's essay number 2. A different prompt. Some students have a background, identity, interest, or talent that is so meaningful, they believe their application would be incomplete without it. If this sounds like you, please share your story. So this submission, the person talked about background and identity. Look at this introduction. And in the first sentence, the first question got me. Who would have ever thought that so much positivity could come from negative experiences? Oh, wow, what has this person been through? My life has been a good example of this phenomenon. Now it's tied into why she's sharing her story. I hope I'm correct in identifying their genders. I'm not really sure with everyone, but this young lady said, my life has been a good example. Point number 1, was born in, point number 2, was born and gave a name in a place. I am blank, blank, and blank. I was unable to travel to blank, and this dread has weighed heavily on my heart. And without divulging a lot of personal information, this person's had to immigrate here and left behind a loved one who passed away, and she was never able to go and pay respects. That grabs attention. That focuses on the prompt. There's something about that background, that identity, who that person is that makes her different. And it gives direction to what we can expect in the rest of the essay. Those were some of them negative in the beginning. How did she turn them around to positive? Let's look at the body. And I think there are 2 slides here. Yes. First, she talks about her background, close-knit family, leaving homeland, losing a grandparent. Then the next section, first 14 years, the joys of growing up in one homeland, and then challenges she encountered, which brought her to age 15, coming to the United States, feelings about the change, differences, challenges. Okay, there right away are the negatives that are going to become positives. One problem also, as an oldest child, I don't know if it's a problem, a challenge, new responsibilities and skills to be developed. Next slide. As oldest child, I've repeated that, must have made an impression on me. As a rising senior, now she talks about, oh, the positives that come from being here, clubs, organizations, and activities, and what she sees as future challenges, planning the future, career in nursing, experiences while considering nursing, and plans she's making. Boy, what a transition from negative to positive. So now let's see the conclusion. Remember, background and identity. And she says, upon graduation, my ultimate goal has always been to pursue a nursing career. Attaining this goal will not only allow me to support my family, the community at large, but also my native land. I witnessed it, how nurses from the United States supported Haiti, and this inspired and ignited my determination to become a nurse. I discovered it's possible to learn from every negative experience, but you must make the most of it. Ironically, I believe I am a better person now, and I look forward to paying it forward. Well, talk about positive, becoming a better person through all of that, with goals, with aspirations, and then thinking of making a difference for other people. Does it seem developed? Is it thorough? Or does it seem rushed? Oh no, it doesn't seem rushed to me at all. Does it emphasize the prompt? And does it make a memorable impression? Now let's look at essay number 3. And again, thank you, those who submitted the first and second essays. I really enjoyed looking at your work. A different prompt, description. Oh, this is the same as last time. Is extenuating circumstances, it's a little bit different. Or obstacles you have faced in your life and their outcome. So keywords, extenuating circumstances, things that were beyond what's normal, what's usual, what most people expect, or obstacles. Introduction. At the age of 13, I traveled to the United States from Haiti to obtain a better education, as well as a better life, leaving my mother behind. Ugh. Horrible. What a trauma. Right away, I'm thinking, boy, that's really an obstacle. That's an extenuating circumstance. As an immigrant, it has been challenging for myself to settle down and live accordingly. I've experienced lots of trials and tribulations since moving to America. Some challenges I have experienced are. Okay, so you get the direction, don't you? Grabs your attention, takes a stand, addresses the prompt, gives direction to what Cane Pet, I believe that's something editing I missed. What we can expect, big difference, what we can expect in the rest of the essay. I'm sorry about that. I apologize. Next slide. Let's see what we can expect. Look at these points of elaboration. Extenuating circumstances, not fitting in, concerned about not being successful, difficulty with language, facing ridicule, adjusting to a blended family. But what came out that was positive? Mother's guidance, being self-motivated, being resilient, strong positive attitude, and now she faces difficulties head on. Okay, Great body. That doesn't sound right. Great development of thoughts in the body of an essay. Last, conclusion. If you're like I am, you probably like to look at the very last sentence, which is really quite interesting. But let me point something else out about this. So we have to look at the whole part here. The wonderful lessons that my mother has taught me about self-motivation and resilience. And I decided to apply these lessons each day of my life. Now, I omitted the very beginning of it, but you can see part of the sentence and the direction. Self-motivation, resilience. Oftentimes I felt like giving up, but my determination, courage, and patience have helped me to stay positive throughout this journey. I have learned that I will always face trials and challenges in life. And when going through difficulties, resilience is the key to becoming successful. Over time, I have adapted to the transition. That one makes me want to applaud. Well, they all do, but what courage. Does it seem developed? Is it thorough? Does it look rushed? Does it emphasize the prompt? Does it make a memorable impression? And so far, we've looked at portions. I wish I could show you their entire essays, but these three parts have what they should have. Some may leave a greater impression than others. But there's one thing, we can go to the next slide. One thing I want to mention, avoid cliches. These are overused phrases or expressions. Some of you have English teachers that harp on this, I know. When you hear something and you say to yourself, oh, I've heard that so many times, it's been said many times already. Like at the end of the day, by the way, I saw all except 3 of these in essays that I've read the last 2 weeks. What does at the end of the day mean? Does it mean finally? Once I've worked and achieved what I wanted? Don't say at the end of the day if it's a cliche. You want fresh, exciting, interesting, unique writing. It is what it is. I don't know. That expression we all use, I'm not so sure it means anything. Ups and downs, you mean the hard times, the good times and the bad? You mean the challenges, but the rewards that follow? Ins and outs? Knowing the ins and outs means you know what to do when. Trials and tribulations, the hard times, the times of joy and celebration, good times. Settle down. I don't know if that means stop yelling or get married and have a family or calm down when you're angry. Leave my mark. An impression. The news broke. The news broke. How terrible. We're always hearing news, but we don't want it to break. What do you really mean when the newscaster announced, when it became public knowledge? So you could take a look at the second column. I don't think you want to hear me read every one of these, but I see this a lot. My mother or my father or my grandmother means the world to me. I think you can say it differently. Or the scholarship means the world to me. Well, which is it? I saw both of those in one essay, by the way. And you've all heard this expression. He would give me the shirt off his back. I wouldn't want the shirt off someone's back unless I really needed to cover something. What do you really mean there? That he would give you all that you need? Time on my hands, hit the ground running. You've heard these. And you all know he puts a roof over my head. He puts food on the table. Something cost me an arm and a leg. Oh my goodness, that isn't really what you mean. It cost a great amount. You felt like you were giving up things that were very important. So be aware of these cliches and try to say things in a different way. The next problem that I saw, and this is the last one I'll talk about before we look at one more student sample, transitional devices. A transition means movement from one stage or place to another. Some people refer to a person passing away as making a transition. Some people have to make the transition moving from place to place, or going from one boyfriend or girlfriend to another, or going from one school to another. But in writing, transitional devices do the following. They build one point from one point to another. They make clear the ideas that you're trying to explain or express. They link and connect. They move the writing along in an orderly way, providing flow, unifying ideas. So let's talk about, on the next slide, what do you do to get transitions? To add, you can use, I'm not going to read the whole list. You can Google these and find these. They're all over the internet. But there are different ways to use transitions. So let's say that you're just talking to someone, and you're saying, I worked so hard on that essay. You might have another transition to your next thought. Additionally, I'm considering becoming an English teacher. You see how those ideas link? How about the next one? I worked so hard on that essay. Although I don't consider writing professionally as a life goal, I have learned a lot. So there you're contrasting or looking at the opposite. Or my mother always said practice makes perfect. And I've learned that writing this essay has made me improve. Or to emphasize, I've worked hard on this essay. Absolutely, it's true that hard work pays off. Or to give examples, I've worked hard on this essay. For instance, I had to set goals and deadlines. I had to proofread and edit. Those are showing you worked hard. You're connecting the two ideas. To prove, I've worked hard on this essay. Apparently, that hard work paid off since I won the scholarship. Okay, the next page, there are more transitional devices, more reasons for using them. You repeat, I've worked hard on this essay, thinking about how hard I worked. I realize hard work can lead to finishing a good product. Or to show time, I've worked hard on this essay, but before I started, I was reluctant and fearful. Now I know I can write. Or summarizing, I've worked hard on this essay. After realizing writing an essay requires revision, I'm able to produce a quality composition. So let's take a look at the student examples one more. Wait a minute. These are some examples from one submission. I didn't give you the whole submission. I spent the first 14 years. Okay, do you remember the student? I believe it was essay number 2, and she went chronologically through her life. When she went from 14 years, I spent the first 14 years here, then she gets into being 15 and moving to the United States. As an only child, well, she was talking about moving here and then the responsibilities as an only child. From there, a transition would be, I was an only child, but I had schoolwork to consider. As a rising senior, I was. And then just when I thought I'd learned to meet and exceed all my expectations, then that leads her to, I had this goal in mind and I saw what I needed to do. So I've seen them in the essays, but they're very important. If you jump from one idea to another and you don't have the connection, it can be a problem. There's another way of having those connections. The next slide, the paragraph hook. So let's say you're talking about being scared, and then you go to the next paragraph or the next point. What frightened me most was, now you've linked scared to being frightened and why. Or you've talked about how life changed so much during COVID-19. And that connects to your goals when you say, well, the pandemic caused me to change, repeating the words change, my ideas about what I want to do in life. You're writing about how hard it was having to leave your home. Moving to Florida was not easy for a 6th grader. But then you say, as such a young child, moving from Brooklyn to Miami caused problems. And you're into your next topic. Immigrating to the United States was not easy. The hook would be, you're going to talk about immigrating, but you're going to say it a little differently, as one coming from a different country. My challenges, new topic, included. So notice the hooks take you from one point and then they open up the next point. That's a transition. Okay, so the next slide, more on paragraph hooks. Oh, these are taken right from the essays, those 3 essays we looked at. So if you can see what's in bold print, she talks about her first 3 years in high school. She's joined initiatives that have helped. And the next is the initiative most significant. See how she repeated, I've joined initiatives and the initiative, but now she's into talking about racial justice. Good transition. As an immigrant, it has been challenging for me to settle down and live accordingly. And look at the next sentence. Some challenges I have experienced are. That's a transition. Challenging, some of the challenges are. And the third example, brace training exposed me to the resources that would aid me in my goal of bridging the opportunity gap between students of color and white students. Preparing for the future is instrumental in the fight for racial justice. It's a beautiful conclusion, but notice it says transition needed. She could say something like, action must be taken, attention must be given to bridge that gap that will bring racial justice. Preparing for the future is instrumental. Or she could say the brace training led her to realize the importance of preparation. Preparing for the future is instrumental. You have to connect one thought to another. Okay, so the last point I wanted to make is rewriting can make a good essay superior. So here's another sample that really impressed me. First draft introduction. I see, I've said this before, so many people want to start their essays. Hi, my name is Joe, or whatever the name might be. Hi, my name is blank. And to be able to tell you why I feel I deserve to win this scholarship, there's the prompt, that's good. But I need to be able to tell you my story. I was born into a blended family. Okay. I don't like my name is as an introduction, but it does feature the prompt and it does give direction. But the third and last, is it the third sentence of the first draft says something which I've left blank, was once a secret struggle in our home. Now that could be homelessness, when my father lost his job, alcoholism, abuse. Look at the final draft. The person starts with that secret struggle. Such and such was once a secret struggle in our home. Oh my gosh, that hooks my attention. There are reasons why it's a struggle. It was hard to focus on homework and other projects. Disputes took place. I stayed in my room. ... I've left some out. Thankfully, that situation has ended. Okay, now I'm going to see, well, what happened next? And this, by the way, is a personal essay. So let's see, without telling you all of the ideas in that essay, let's go to the last slide and see how the person concluded. And this is one of those essays, he feels he owes his mother the world. She's given him the world, he owes it. So the first draft ended with, so you see, and I did see it, I feel like I deserve to win this for my dreams and to continue my education for my family, for the underserved communities that I've seen with people who have big dreams, but mostly for my mother who's given me the world, always given me the world. Winning this scholarship will allow me to fulfill my dreams and help her with my college tuition. The last thought I'm left with is he wants to help his mom with his pay for the college tuition, which is very admirable. But look at the second draft. Despite challenges, and by the way, he did honor his mother very nicely in this essay, but he says, despite challenges, I maintain my grades, mindful that failure is not an option. I'm working to save for college, important in mechanical engineering. Okay, helpful to know what he's going to do. Helpful to know he's going to have to get a degree. That's going to require money. Someday, I hope to honor those in underserved communities, opening programs to teach youths fundamentals of engineering. Well, if I have lots of money to give away, I'm impressed by this, because look at the last sentence. This scholarship would help me achieve educational and career goals. Good. As well as my dream of making an impact in communities where many with dreams get left behind. And I don't know about you, but that makes me think, oh,
That
so
just
many
gave me
people get left
chills.
behind. Yes.
That gave me chills, Doc.
And that's a darn good conclusion. They were all good, very, very powerful, lots of strengths that stand out in the essays. If you can craft words like that, once you give yourself time and you don't wait till the last minute, you're going to be a good communicator. Oh, and I wanted to remind you, writing is a process, and we've gone through all those steps. As you can always see with my presentations, editing and revising is very important, especially in these days when we're just typing and pressing submit or send, and things get sent that we don't mean to show errors in the writing, but we make that bad impression. Whether you win or not, and we hope that you win the scholarships for which you apply, you are still a winner, because in the end, you learn you can think, plan, analyze, organize. You learn that, yes, you can write. You've had to budget time. You've had to set and achieve goals. You've accomplished something. As a writer, the greatest thing to me is creating from nothing. You have visions, concepts, ideas, and you create them and you get them on paper, on the computer. And your writing is meant either to be shared or held in your heart, but it's your work. So I wish you the best. Just do it.
Man, I feel like Tron. I think I want to go back to school. Can I apply for a scholarship?
Shedley, I'm
You have
sure.
to see Shedley.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I
exactly.
have to see myself.
Yeah, Shedley, go talk to yourself, Shedley. Go talk to yourself about the scholarships. I know you know they're out there. No, awesome job, Dr. Scharf. And again, Shedley, thank you so much for bringing Dr. Scharf along with you. Students, we truly hope this workshop has been beneficial. As a matter of fact, we know it has. I've learned a lot. Colleen's learned a lot. But we truly hope it's been beneficial to you. And it must be, because you continue to show up. I saw a few students taking some notes. We have some chats taking place. So this stuff has to be beneficial to you. Do me a favor, students. This is our last hurrah. You see there on the screenshot, it says follow Scholarship Money for Students. If you're not following Scholarship Money for Students, can you take 10 seconds right now to open your phone, go to Instagram? Yep, everybody. I need everyone to do it. If you're not doing it, then I need everyone to go to Instagram and follow Scholarship Money for Students. That way you can get in touch with Shedley Cassius, Dr. Scharf. If they're both accessible, Shedley can get in touch with Dr. Scharf. For those of you who were here tonight and you've been here all of our workshops, we thank you. Can we show some love to Dr. Scharf and Shedley in the chat, please? Can we post some reactions in Zoom? Very soon, we'll be back in person. Well, a lot of our meetings here at Bridge to Life are going to remain virtual, but we will have some in-person opportunities for everybody that's a part of this. We can't wait to be in person. I promise you we can't wait. And I know you can't either. Who's over this Zoom stuff? Am I the only one that's over Zoom stuff? I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Well, when it comes to stuff like this, we have to be,
okay.
I'm kind of thankful for it.
When it comes to needing the technology, thank goodness we had this technology. But I can't wait to get back in person so I can look people in the eyes and I can really read their body language to see if they're paying attention. But I know those of you have your camera on, y'all have been paying attention. So big shout out to y'all. All right. So, oh no, don't be shy, Maya. Don't be shy. It's all good. It's all
Sean.
Yes.
Can we ask them to put their grades in the chat before they leave, please?
Grade levels?
Yeah, grade levels.
Everybody drop your grade level in the chat right now, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. And if you graduated already,
first.
And awesome. And if you graduated already, let us know. Graduate, 12th grade. That's what I'm talking about.
Ooh,
Class
graduated.
Of 21.
Do the Just Do scholarship, please.
And by the way, while we're doing this, This is our last night. We can take a couple extra minutes here, a couple of extra minutes. Students, I said this in the beginning. It is paramount. It would behoove you. It is important. It is critical that you connect with all of us via LinkedIn if you have a LinkedIn account. If you have a LinkedIn profile, make sure to find scholarship money for students, the scholarship plug. Make sure to find Dr. Scharf, Colleen Lockwood, Tron Lepet. All you have to do is go to LinkedIn, type our names. We're there. Connect with us. The more information and resources you have coming your way, the better equipped you'll be for the future. And someone asked earlier to talk about we'll send the survey to all workshops soon. Oh, so thank you, Colleen. We're going to send a survey very soon to all of the attendees from all of our workshops. We need you to take the survey. Here's why. This was our first time doing summer programming. Pay close attention now, pay close attention. This was our first time doing summer programming. We need to know, what did you think of it? What did you gain? What did you learn? How can we pivot? How can we adjust? What else do you want to cover next summer? So please take the survey. By the way, there's something about winning a prize if you take this survey. You guys know we're all about prizes, right? We're all about prizes and resources. One last time for those that didn't get a chance to hear it, we have a AMC Theater incentive. If you have attended 2 workshops between July 14th through July 29th, that's tonight, you are eligible to receive 2 movie passes, one for you and one for your boo. Oops, did I say boo? I meant one for you and one for a friend, a family member, right? You can go see Black Widow. You can go see the greatest basketball player of all time, LeBron James, in Space Jam 2, Born Legacy, whatever you want to see. We're giving you 2 movie passes, and I think that's it. Oh, and follow Bridge to Life if you haven't already on Instagram, Bridge to Life SFL, Bridge to Life SFL. Students, you guys, oh, okay, Colleen just posted the form in the chat for those of you that, okay, great. So there's a form for the $100 incentive. Please click that link. All of the instructions are on the form. Please, students, click the link. We want to see that posted. I received a message from a few students about the $100 incentive. All right, so so check that out. I'm applying for that. Can I put it? Application is very sensitive. Okay, Maya says I am applying for the $100. Can I put a college acceptance instead of an application? The application is buried since there are so many. Colleen, are we accepting? Can we accept a college application? You know what? I think we need the application. I don't know about the acceptance letter.
Form has 5 college-going tasks, and the guidelines for this are that you complete 3 of the 5, and one of the 5 is a college application, right? So that counts as a task, and then another task is completing 5 scholarships. Just to be clear, these are tasks that were completed between June 21st and July 29th. So if you applied for a college last October, it doesn't count. It's really just for college applications, scholarship applications, FAFSA forms or FSA IDs. We'll take either one, and a LinkedIn profile and attending, I forget how many workshops, but those are the 5 you have to choose from. So all grade levels can participate. And Tony, no, the form for the $100 requires 5 scholarships being applied for between June 21st and tonight.
Okay.
So,
hopefully
yeah, just review
we have these incentives locked up.
Yeah.
Yep, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. The form explains the 5 tasks.
No.
Yeah. So just submit and just
Yep.
you have the dates for those things that you applied for. And Jasmine, I don't know why it won't let you connect with others. You go to someone's profile and there should be a connect button. You click on that and that sends an invitation to connect. All right, Tron, back to you. Thanks.
Cool, thank you. Yep. So Colleen, if you can, just one more time, one last go around, put the link to our $100 incentive in the chat, please. Students, the tasks are there. Everything is written on that form, so please visit the form. All right. With that being said, a huge thank you to everyone that's on tonight, our presenters who have been here all summer long. Guys, this has been amazing, and it was so worth it. It was worth every hour. It was worth every minute, and we truly thank you. You were a part of history. Even though we only had like 4 or 5 people turn their cameras on, that's all good. That's why we're gonna be in person next year, so we'll see you regardless. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy your summer. The link is in the chat. No, we're all good there. But thank you so much, Shedley, Dr. Scharf, Colleen Lockwood, students especially. Great job. Thank you for tuning in. You guys have made this worthwhile. We're just getting started. The bridge is being built higher and higher and reaching further and further. Shedley, I like that you're doing the bridge with me. Shedley, I like that you're doing the bridge with me, Shedley. I like that you're doing the bridge. Guys, have a wonderful night. That's right. Enjoy your summer and have fun. Enjoy your weekend as well. We'll see you next school year, which is in a few weeks.
Hubert has his hand up.
Oh, Hubert, I'm sorry. Yes, Hubert.
So if I applied to college last year, I can't upload that application? Oh, I mean, proof of that.
Correct, Hubert. It has to be done within our time frame.
Gotcha. All right.
But there are 5 tasks. You only have to complete 3. That's one of them. Do 3 others, and you're good, Hubert. All right, cool. Survey has not been sent yet. We'll shoot that out to all the folks that attended all the workshops, Jency. Thank you. Dr. Scharf and Shedley, we love you. Thank you so much. It was great. What great essays too. Fantastic. I'm going to stop recording now.